Hi everyone, so for today I have a quick card for you that I'm going to make using the designer series paper which is called Storybook Gnomes, and this is from the gnome suite that's in our catalogue. So I'll just quickly show you some of the paper. So you get 2 sheets of each of the designs and they're all double-sided. I love this. I'm going to be using that in the future. And you've got this one that's got trees and kind of scenery, and I love that as well. And I always find with our designer series paper, if you don't like one side, generally the other side you'll like. So this is another one with an all-over design. I debated whether to use this today or not, but I'll show you the one that I've gone for. So that's the other side. Now what I've done, I don't know if you can see here, I've used my ScanNCut to cut one of the gnome houses from that piece of paper, but there are dies that go with this suite, so if you don't have a ScanNCut you can buy the dies and it will cut out that shape for you. This is another one, and that's the other side. This is another one. Again, I kind of debated whether to use this. I'm not sure whether I'll change out the one that I have chosen and go back to this or not, or we'll see just how we go on, because I've not made this card. I've just cut some of the elements. That's the other side, nice subtle kind of snowflake design. This is the one I've gone for, and that's the other side. So the colourways in this pack, just to tell you, are Balmy Blue, Basic Black, Bermuda Bay, Calypso Coral, Early Espresso, Night of Navy, Pacific Point, Pale Papaya, Pool Party, Poppy Parade and Soft Suede. So I've pulled out a piece of card that's Calypso Coral and Early Espresso, and as I say, I've chosen this design I've just shown you. So, but you know, I could probably use any one of these other designs. So I'll just pop these papers away. I've not had this paperback pack very long, so I've not done my sheet where I put all my 2-inch samples on yet. So I'm just keeping it in that pocket out of the way for now. So as I say, the colourways in the pack include Calypso Coral and Early Espresso. So there's my little gnome house. I've cut 2 strips. It doesn't matter about the length so long as they go across the piece of designer series paper. Calypso Coral and Early Espresso. I've cut a matting layer which is 3 7/8 by 5 5/8. This is the piece of the designer series paper that's 3 7/8 the same. It's not as long, but it doesn't matter because I'm gonna chop it on an angle. So I'll do that first. So I'm just going to bring in my trimmer and I'm going to put this in my trimmer, maybe with like the point on the inch mark on the right hand side, and just kind of eyeball it. I'm not really sure how far down I want to cut it. Just to give you an idea, it's about 4.5 inches, and this piece here is about 1.25 inches. Okay, this one, you know, I'm just going to save and use that on another card. I want to stick this on here like so, and then I was going to bring in one of these strips to break it up and put this over like so, and then pop my little gnome house up. And obviously the strip I use will determine which piece of card I put the layer on. I quite like it on the Early Espresso, so I think I'll go for that. So I'm just going to fold this in half and burnish with my bone folder. That's going to give me a top opening card. I'm going to stick this down. I'll just use my Tombow, and I'm just going to position that on the piece of white card so it lines up edge to edge. Then I'll just burnish it down. I'm going to bring in the piece of Early Espresso and lay that down so it overlaps. And then I'm just going to bring in my scissors and using the edge of the card as my guide just to cut that excess piece off. So that's what we've got so far. Then this, I think I'll just pop up on dimensionals, and I'll use black ones because they're handy. And if you can hear a noise, it's warm again here today, so I've got the window open, and that was just something going up my lane. So I think I'll pop that like so, and then this is going to sit on the front of the card. And as I say, this is just a nice simple design that will work with any of your designer series papers. Just pick a designer series paper. Looks as though I've cut that too big. Let's just measure. This should be 3 5/8. No, this should be 5 5/8. And I have cut it too big. So I'll just pop that on one side because I need to clean my blade now, because that will have adhesive on it. Bring my card back in, pop that on the front, that's better. Just turn it over and rub it from the back. So that's what we've got now. So I think I said at the beginning, this designer series paper is all part of a suite. The stamp set's called Kindest Gnomes. And again, there's dies that go with it, the gnome dies, and the dies will cut out all the gnomes and the gnome house, and it will cut out the gnome house that's in the designer series paper. So we've got that, and then there's also, just put the lid on this adhesive before it dries up, there's also the fine sparkle adhesive back gems. So let's just see if we can get, I might just put Warm Wishes, just fit that on the bottom I think, and I'll use Early Espresso ink to tie in with the card. So I've got my Early Espresso ink, I've got my little greeting on my block. I'll just pop that there. And then I'll bring in the gems and my Take Your Pick tool. It's just got a little putty end. And then we'll have some of these little gems to just tie in the colour. And then obviously I can put a piece of white card inside, and you know, I could stamp one of the gnomes, or I could just leave it plain. That's today's card. So a nice simple design. As I say, you can make this with any designer series paper. Just, you know, pull a piece of designer series paper, see what colours are in your paper pack, choose a piece of coloured cardstock to go with it, and, you know, just do this nice simple layout. Anyway, I hope you like that. Please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.